So during the Xbox 2 podcast I do with Jez Corden on Wednesdays, we had a little bit of breaking news. Crackdown 3 delayed to 2018. We talked about it at length during the podcast, but a lot of people wanted me to give my own thoughts on it. So here we go. What's going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. And oh boy, it is not a good day for Microsoft when it comes to exclusive games. Crackdown 3, as you guys can see, I am on Polygon, and they got the scoop. Crackdown 3 delayed to 2018. Microsoft says the destruction-filled sandbox game needs more time. Now, I'm going to read off what Shannon Loftus says, and then we're going to get into, my take on all this, right? So Shannon Loftus, who's the Microsoft Studios publishing general manager, said that we're very excited about Crackdown 3 and so many fans, and it's a difficult call to move the release date. However, we want to make sure to deliver the right game with the right quality and at the right time. Crackdown 3 is a hugely ambitious game, and we want to ensure we deliver the right experiences all the way through every part of the game, whether that's campaign, co-op multiplayer, or our competitive multiplayer mode, Wrecking Zone. Getting the balance right between the three modes is important, and we're going to take extra development time to ensure that gamers can expect Crackdown 3 in spring of 2018. Oh boy. So, man, there's really no words. I'm not going to really mince words here. This might be the worst year for Xbox. There's no getting around that. The front half of the year was not very good, with only Halo Wars 2, Voodoo Vince, and Phantom Dust. And then you go through a huge stress of time without any new exclusives. And then you only basically are launching with Forza Motorsport 7, which is an annual franchise, and Super Lucky's Tale. Not exactly a killer lineup by any stretch of the imagination. And yeah, I have been critical of Crackdown 3 in the past. I mean, hell, my most viewed video is the one about where I said it was a joke. But I've always had faith in the game. I always thought the game could be fun. I just wasn't necessarily a fan of the way Microsoft was presenting the game to the public. And if you guys watch my Gamescom video, my prediction video I posted yesterday, when I was trying to think of all the things Microsoft could show, I made the prediction that the multiplayer for Crackdown 3 wasn't going to launch with the game, that it would launch outside sometime in 2018. And I think that is what happened here. I think the multiplayer, the cloud destruction, wasn't ready. And I think instead of launching the game kind of in two pieces, single player and co-op as a launch game for the X, and then the multiplayer in 2018, I think Microsoft decided to bite the bullet and delay the game, the entire experience, to 2018. And they're going to get people coming at them for this, because it's been a bad year and there's no way around it. Hopefully, because if you want to look on the bright side of it, we'll talk about the negatives and the bright side. If you want to look as the glass half full, you give Crackdown more time to maybe be a better game, to maybe polish the visuals more, to maybe have a more interesting campaign, to polish the destruction in the multiplayer, to make it more of a complete package instead of maybe the half package it would have been. You also get it out of the holidays. Call of Duty was launching the week before, Star Wars Battlefront 2 the week after. There's a whole bunch of games in that area that maybe the game would have gotten trounced by, similar to Titanfall 2. And I know I did mention originally that I thought maybe this game could survive that, but the more they showed of the game, the more I kind of started feeling that I don't think it could. So moving it to 2018 is probably best for the game itself, of actually trying to be a great game, a good game, a game worth playing. And it's probably better sales-wise, because you move out of that, foxhole of all these huge games launching at the same time. The question is now you need to pick a better release date, because Red Dead Redemption 2 is launching sometime, I would assume May. Sony has their own games like God of War and Spider-Man, so now you got to find a good, solid release date, not only for Crackdown 3, but also for Sea of Thieves and State of Decay, because those games are also announced as coming early 2018. So that's kind of the glass half full outlook, that this is best for the game, that it would potentially lead to a better experience for everybody, and that potentially the franchise can grow if you maybe put it out in July, like how they just did with Fortnite, and Fortnite sold well. That's the glass half full version. The glass half empty version is this does not put Microsoft in a good light with anybody. They are trying to sell a system, a brand new system, Xbox One X, and they just delayed one of their bigger games for the holiday. And the idea here is like, what am I buying the Xbox One X for? I mean, is essentially just for third-party exclusives? Is that what it is? Or third-party games that look better in 4K and stuff? I mean, that's kind of the statement we're kind of getting right now from Microsoft, is like, it's a third-party box machine because their first party is very sparse this year. And also goes along with the whole thing is that Microsoft has a problem somewhere in there. Scalebound canceled, Lionhead shut down, Fable Legends canceled, Crackdown delayed. Don't forget, Crackdown 3 was shown off originally in 2014. It won't come out until 2018. That's 4 years. That's 4 years. When was this game originally supposed to come out? 2016? 2017, obviously. Now, 4 years later in 2018. So now Microsoft has this image of maybe a studio or a first party that doesn't have their studios in order. I don't know what else to say. And then all this stuff kind of trickles down to casuals. There's the rumor from the MPDs this past month that it sold in July less than 100,000. Xbox is having one of its worst sales year ever, but on the flip side, PlayStation is having one of its best years ever. Is that a coincidence? Is it because this is, they're having one of their worst sales year ever, and it also just coincides with their worst software year ever, and then PlayStation's having its best year ever, coinciding with maybe its best, software year? I mean, this stuff, delaying games, not having a lot of games, period, that feeds down to the casuals. It feeds down from the hardcore, talk to their less hardcore friends and decide to pick stuff up. More people pick up a PlayStation and they tell their friends, and so on and so forth down the road until the PlayStation becomes the de facto system. It's not a good look that Microsoft is constantly delaying and canceling games at all. It's not a good look, and you can't damage control any of this. It's been a bad year for Xbox. Hopefully, next year is better. Now, if you take this year and look at next year, now that Crackdown has been delayed, next year looks a little bit better. Of course, at least the beginning of the year. The end of the year, we don't know. But the beginning of the year, you have State of Decay 2, you have Sea of Thieves, you have Crackdown 3. At the end of the year, you probably have Forza Horizon 4, maybe Halo 6. Next year looks like, with Crackdown moving to 2018, like a better year. But man, 2017, the year that you're launching the new Xbox One X, I would feel like, shouldn't you have more of your own software ready to launch at that point? It's disappointing. I know, Shannon and everybody at Xbox are probably, upset that they had to do this. I mean, they don't want to delay the games. They don't want to let people down. They don't want to let Xbox fans down. This is probably something that had to happen. It was probably, the game wasn't ready, or like I, theorized in my video, the multiplayer just wasn't working. So they delay it to next year. But in the meantime, they get a lot of hate. People are on the fence, are now jumping off the fence saying, like, I'll just wait for an Xbox One X. And that's kind of the negative of the whole thing. Is a lot of people now like, what do I need an Xbox One X for? I'm still getting this system because I own 900 games on this system. All my friends are here. I'm excited to play the multi-plat games on Xbox. And I have a PlayStation to play any exclusives that they have on there. So I'm set. I'm good. But I understand people that are just Xbox only are probably like, what the heck? What the heck do I have to look forward to? This has been a terrible year. And you're right. It has been. And there's nothing I can say to change that. Hopefully this year, on glass half full, hopefully this year is just a blimp in the radar. the reason the software drought was because of the Scalebound cancellation, the Fable Legends stuff, and 2018, 2019, 2020 are just packed with games. Phil said he's, hired or, they signed some deals recently. So hopefully this year has taught Microsoft a lesson, and they look at it and be like, we can't have this year again for our Xbox fans, because people might jump ship and say there's no reason to get Xbox because they have no games, and the games they do have end up getting delayed constantly. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my whole thought on the whole Crackdown 3 being delayed to 2018. I hope the game is better off for it. I hope the franchise can find a bigger audience outside of the the fight in November with all the bigger games. But I understand that right now people live in the right here and now, and here and now it is not a good look for Microsoft whatsoever, and has not been a good 2017. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel if you are new or haven't already. Hit the bell so you're always notified when I drop new content. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And with that, I will see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.